Lopez.
That's what I'm saying. So they'll just have Joel Embiid standing by. Like, I think Joel Embiid's their best shot because he's the only one that can handle the length because he's bigger than Giannis. I don't know if it would work. I understand the quickness is a problem. But I just don't know if you're doing defensively, if you're talking about matching it up, it feels like a waste just to throw Joel Embiid on their 3-point shooter, their space guy.
I mean, that's what you kind of have to do in that series. I mean, that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, well,
unless you're gonna put Jimmy Butler on him. I mean, you can put Jimmy Butler on him.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen, so.
I mean, we don't even know who's gonna win that series. We don't know who's gonna win that series. I don't even think the Sixers are gonna win that series. So.
I don't know. We'll have to.
Sixers aren't winning that series. It's gonna be Toronto. But we'll talk about that series when we get there.
We'll talk about it. But let's talk about Bucks Celtics. Tonight, Marcus Smart played through injury, and there was one point in the fourth quarter when they showed him sitting on the bench when the game was pretty much over, last minute, and you could just tell he was like, I played through a fucking injury for this shit. Like, are you kidding me?
This Celtics team is sorry. This Celtics team's sorry.
Do you think the Celtics team will get better if they lose Kyrie?
No, I think there's bigger problems.
Which are?
I think there's just bigger issues. I think it's Kyrie needs to go. Kyrie definitely needs to go. They need to lose Morris. Morris is just
Morris has been their.
I understand that, but he's a bad influence locker. He's a bad locker guy.
You saying that is that both of Morris's guys or just Marcus?
They're both of them. Yes.
Should the Thunder get rid of Markieff?
I think they're both very good players. I think they're terrific players. They just don't. I don't think they're very good locker room guys. I don't think Brad Stevens is in. He's a great coach. He's very good basketball mind. I don't think he's a very good leader. Yeah, that's kind of my opinions on it. Marcus Smart is one of the best leaders in basketball, and I think people just gravitate towards him. They play hard because he plays hard. I don't think you necessarily have to be the best player in basketball. If you're the hardest player, they'll gravitate to you. That's why I love Draymond Green. I love Marcus Smart. I think they work their ass off, and that's why people respect them.
Yeah, I think the Celtics are going to have to do some addition by subtraction. You would hate to lose Kyrie and Terry Rozier, but I think they would really benefit, especially Tatum and Jaylen Brown, by having a guy that can really run an offense and isn't too worried about ISO plays, which both those guys are very shoot-heavy.
I think Rozier is done for sure.
Yeah, I think they just have too many shooters, not enough balls. They need to play with 2 or 3 basketballs for them to be effective.
What do you think? They have some. They might have an early pick, honestly, if they win the lottery. I think they have an early pick.
Clearly, Al Horford's a plus. Marcus Smart's a guy.
Al Horford has 1 year left on that deal.
You're not getting rid of Gordon Hayward, and then I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both good players that can really increase their ceiling. I think you need a facilitator. I mean, really, that seems to be the missing thing.
Yeah.
Or they need to just go 08 Kobe and just play through Tatum.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't even know if you need a facilitator. I think you can just play through Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. Al Horford's a great player. Al Horford's a great player. He's coming up on a player deal that's probably not very beneficial for them. He's taking a max contract.
Yeah.
They can probably afford another contract, I believe. If Kyrie leaves, they can afford another player.
Yeah, sure. If Kyrie left, they could afford one more max, and they could probably, because they gave Gordon Hayward the max. That's the problem.
And then you have Marcus Smart playing point guard, and he's making a lot of money. I don't know. They're in a. Everyone considers Danny Ainge such a smart guy. I mean,
well,
what has he won? What has he won? He's won one championship.
Huh?
Danny Ainge has won one championship.
The Celtics won 2.
2?
That Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen.
They won 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they've gotten since it. They've made a few good deals, and they haven't done shit with it.
It's one of those where he makes good moves, he gets talent in. They don't necessarily put all the pieces
I think
together.
Brad
They
Stevens.
thought they were.
I think Brad Stevens might not be the guy.
I think it's hard. I think he's a
great basketball mind. I think he's a great basketball mind. I think he's not the guy for that team.
Yeah, I can see it. I think the first thing you have to do is get rid of Kyrie.
You got it. Kyrie is not.
Just see what
he's a number two. He's a number two.
Because supposedly he's not. He's only friends with Jaylen Brown. He's just.
He's a number two. He's always been a number two. He thinks of himself so much. I don't know if you saw this other.
No, I saw.
There was an article the other day. He said, "I'm a genius. I'm a basketball genius." I'm like, Kyrie, you're not a genius in any part of your life. You're a great basketball player. You're not a genius. You're not a genius.
I 100% understands what he's saying.
Yeah, but
I don't agree. It's one of those things where it's like, if you're the one calling yourself a genius, you might not be.
Yeah, you should never be saying that. No one's. You don't say that. I think he's very, very talented player. And I just don't think he's. I think he's a great shooting guard that wants to be a point guard.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I'm real excited that to see the Bucks play in the Eastern Conference Finals, since I don't know when, because I don't remember. Maybe since Big O and Kareem.
I haven't been this excited about Don Nelson's. No, I think it wasn't Don Nelson's, but the Don Nelson Bucks went to it. Okay. I'm excited about the Bucks. The Fear of the Deer. I haven't been this excited about the Bucks since Michael Redd.
That was the last time they had an All-Star. But so I want to see what Giannis can do. I think this Bucks team is 100% going to go to the finals. But we shall see.
I disagree.
Let's talk about the team that could potentially stand in their way. This Philly versus Toronto series tied 2-2. If I'm Toronto, there's only one thing I'm worried about.
Okay,
Kawhi Leonard has made 23 of 24 contested shots. He shot 60-something%, I think 70-something true shooting. He has not been able to miss. At a certain point, do these tough shots, because every single one of them have been tough, do they start to miss? Do they start to not fall?
I'm pretty sure the stat with Kawhi, the whole playoffs, I'm pretty sure he's averaged over 30 points per games in every playoff games besides one. I think he averaged like 28-20. He went 28-29 in that one game. He's been incredible. He plays defense. He's scoring everything. He's the best basketball player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best basketball player in the world right now.
Two-way, yes, I would. Yeah, 100%. I agree. The thing also that Philly should be happy about if they look at it, well, not necessarily happy, but if you look at that last game, it was 104. Was it 104-99? That's wrong. That's not what it was.
I don't remember the score.
Sorry.
I do not remember.
But it was about a 5-point loss. It was a 5-point loss, whatever it was, and 101-96. It was a 5-point loss. Joel Embiid scored 11 points. If you go into the game and think, okay, Embiid has to score 16 points and we win, you think it's a lock. Joel Embiid needs to be more assertive. I think he takes like 4 or 5 threes a game. It's like every time Joel Embiid shoots a three, the Raptors are thinking, oh, got lucky on that one. Avoided a bullet on that one. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to take it inside. And I think his conditioning is a real problem. I think he gets tired quickly.
He definitely does get tired quickly. Well, that's mostly because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have enough time to play on the court. And I forgot what I was about to say. But I think the problem with you said 11 points for Joel Embiid. I mean, the thing is, you just don't trust anyone. You don't trust anyone on that team to score consistently on a basis. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from Ben Simmons every night. Joel Embiid, he's supposed to be your guy that you get 20 to 30 points every night. Tobias Harris, he's so fantastic and so good. I don't even know what he's averaging. You need him.
Well, he had one good game. He's averaging around 15 for him. But
I agree, but he needs to be way up there. Jimmy Butler, who's an all-star, and people going into this season, he's one of the best players in the NBA. You have the most talented team in the NBA. Yeah, well, besides the Warriors.
I think there's a very real thing to be said about they have the most talented team in the NBA. They have a very talented team that played 20 games together. I mean, you got to give it.
They're never going to play more games than that, though. Is the problem because they're.
No, I know it was a 1 year thing.
I don't want to. No, it's not the 1 year thing. It's just all of those players on that team, besides Tobias Harris, are kind of. They're soft. They're soft.
Yeah,
They don't play. They don't play games. They don't want to. They don't play in the regular season. They say, "I'll sit out. I'll sit out." I mean.
Yeah,
I think they're all very talented players, and they play very hard when they do play. But when they're a little banged up, they don't want to play.
Yeah, they it's the culture there in Philly is just.
I don't think it's the culture in Philly. I think it's the culture of those few players.
Well, I think it's 100% the culture for the 76ers. You don't play if you're hurt. If you're feeling sore.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree with that, but I also think it's the player. Yeah, yes. But it's both. I believe it's both.
So I think it's that. I think it's that I think they just have a terrible medical staff. I really do.
I don't think it's the medical staff.
Because there's got to be something. Because it's like nowhere else is it like this.
I don't think it's the medical staff. I mean, Joel Embiid's had his problems his whole career. I think Jimmy
but
Butler is. You know Jimmy Butler. Ben Simmons. I don't. Ben Simmons. I could see him sitting out. I don't know. I just don't think it's the medical staff.
What other team though has these problems with like the Markelle Fultz and the Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, all this stuff? And I know you're saying, well, they're all freak things. They're all freak things. Well, when there's smoke, there's fire. There are 29 other organizations that don't have these freak things happen.
I don't think they're freak things. I mean, no one's like, besides the Markelle Fultz thing, I would say it's a freak thing.
So I don't know. Who knows? I obviously don't know much about that organization because I'm not into it. I don't hear anything. I think that this Philly team, they are definitely have the most talent every night. And if they lose, it's because they get outplayed. I mean, that's all it is, because they get outworked.
I somewhat agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, it's not. I think Toronto's a better team than them.
Yeah.
I don't think if they get outworked, I think Toronto's a better team. I think Toronto's just a better team.
So Kawhi and Pascal Siakam, when he's healthy, can be the best two players in that series. The problem is this Phillies bench, which is not that great, destroys Toronto. Toronto's bench this series has been garbage. I mean, Greg Monroe has looked like a serviceable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Scott has been pretty great in limited minutes. So the Philly bench is winning every matchup. They're doing better than the starters. So it's not even like Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris have to outplay. They just have to not get outplayed by a certain amount. They don't even have to outplay Kawhi Leonard. And they haven't even been able to do that.
I think this comes back to what you were saying about Pascal Siakam. You were saying how it's Pascal and Kawhi being the best players. I don't think Pascal's the best player on the court with him. I think he's just the hardest working player on the court at all moments. I think he wants it more than everyone else, which is completely unacceptable from a professional standpoint, and it's just it's terrible. If Ben Simmons had that effort,
we will see. Regardless, I think that they're gonna have to figure it out. I mean, hopefully Tobias Harris won't go 2 for 13 from 3. I mean, you'd think their shots would start hitting. I think Philly could figure it out and pull this one around. Granted, Kawhi Leonard starts missing some of these shots he's been able to make. If that doesn't happen, Philly could lose in the next 2 games, really.
I also have a point to bring up. It's also Philadelphia, and they're known for losing, so they're going to lose.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's talk about my favorite matchup. The Nuggets Trailblazers. Once again, this one's gone 2-2. We've had a quadruple overtime. We've had so many things. I mean, this is great. It's one of those things where Damian Lillard. I mean, we've seen Harden, we've seen Durant, we've seen all that. Damian Lillard's the most exciting offensive player to watch. Really. Maybe Steph Curry when he's hot, but we haven't seen it this playoff. Damian Lillard is electric, especially when it comes down to the fourth quarter. He just has the clutch gene, and he wants the ball, and he makes the shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. It's Um,